Are melting here. Kobe's going to start it off by taking down Profit. They don't even need to worry about breaking the base because they have broken the backs of Team Rocket, leading house.
Vitality, 4 members alive. They got the 2 carries, the 2 wrecks.
The beast wide open. They've got their eyes set on the prize. They're feeling good. They're cheering on the stage. And 3 rookies, the line of a Vitality, prove themselves worthy of the top 4.
Just a few weeks ago, there were 10 teams vying for the title. Now, only 4 remain.
Every single game we have had so far was just practice.
You can never really count me out, and I'm always going to be there at the top.
What would actually mean something is that we get to the final and win.
Of those teams, 2 are Fnatic and G2 Esports. Between them, they hold all but 1 European LCS champion. I think being the best is just great, but I never experienced it. My legacy is just being third, always, so I want to change it.
We didn't really showcase what we could do. I'm eager to play against G2 again for the semi-finals rematch.
My legacy so far hasn't really been what I wanted it to be, yet to reach certain grounds that others haven't.
Beating Fnatic will mean that we'll actually win the European LCS.
My eyes are on far more than ELCS, but my first prize is ELCS. ELCS is where my heart is.
When I see my team lifting trophy, it just feels 1,000 times better than when I was playing myself.
I would like to get back to winning Europe, because I think if you cannot win Europe, then it's hard to see yourself winning other trophies as well.
This week, 2 teams will earn the honor of fighting for the crown, while the others will receive VIP seats to watch from the sidelines. Because fame is fleeting, but legacy lasts forever.
And welcome to Berlin, Germany, where tonight we will kick off the semi-finals. Just 4 teams remain on the road to Copenhagen, and a win today will put either G2 Esports or Splyce in the spring finals. And we are here to introduce and cover it all for the day. My name is EpicSkillshot supporter, and I'm joined here by Martin the Fisher Lunge and Trevor Quickshot Henry. First up, and I think I speak for absolutely everyone, where the hell is that dog costume, and why are you not wearing it?
Not allowed to wear it on air. It is on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Go find it, like it, share it, all that kind of stuff.
We will. We're going to be a bit more serious because there are very serious stakes today, a spot in the final. And let's take a look at how the teams got here. Last week, we saw Splyce take down Rocket, and Vitality, they picked up a win over H2K. It took long. It was 5 games, but in the end, through the reseeding, these are the matchups we ended up with. And I personally think we're quite blessed with the matchup specifically.
I mean, these are the 4 teams fighting for first place during the regular season. Vitality started 7-1. Of course, they lost a few games, but they bounced back towards the end. Splyce searching, of course, to try and reach the top spot. In the end, I think we got the 4 best teams fighting each other, and I don't think we can ask for anything more.
No, we could ask for a bit more games last week. Only 8.
Okay, fine. Come on, Rocket.
Yeah, only 8, but still a lot of action. So, Quickshot, run us through what happened exactly last week.
Well, I mean, it's because of Rocket that we only had so few games. And that's, of course, because Splyce, they just showed up. I think if you look back to last week's performance, Splyce, they took down Rocket as expected. However, I was impressed with just how well Niski played. He stepped up. The clip you're looking at right now, his Kassadin went unkilled. It was another one of those EU mids man moments. Splyce, look, they 3-0'd. I thought they could have had a stronger early game based on how well they've been playing leading up to the quarterfinals, but it was a confident, strong win, and we'll see how they're going to do today on stage. We're going to look at our second quarterfinal, a lot messier, a lot more exciting. It went the full 5 games. We got to hear Silver Scrapes. And, of course, the rookie of the split, Jizuke. He stepped up once again. This is, of course, just one of the clips where Jizuke and the rest of Vitality responded well to what H2K were doing. The Talia was very impressive. And I think what really stood out for me for this rookie squad, this young set of rookies that really showed up, they didn't crack under the pressure. It went to the game 5. It went to the deciding moment. And as you see Jizuke cleaning up, this is exactly how the squad advanced to semis.
And it's always important to remember with Vitality, they've played a lot of best of 5s down in the Challenger Series with Giants, in the Spanish LVP as well. So they've been under pressure. They've been in promo tournaments where they got to game 5. They're not going to crack here on the stage.
No, but Gilius did say in the post-game lobby, I wish we were just a bit more thorough in our win, because this doesn't instill us with that much confidence per se. And they're going up versus Fnatic tomorrow in their semi-final. So I want to take a minute to look forward to tomorrow. A best of 5 between Fnatic and Vitality, the rookies versus the guys that are so hungry for that cup. And the matchups across the board are exciting.
We're going to get a lot of early game action. Because Vitality tends to win most early games. Fnatic can go toe-to-toe with them. And then also, I just want to see late game team fights with the man over there somewhere. That's
so is
Reckless.
this it, Trevor? Is it really just Reckless versus Jizuke?
No, you have to remember Soaz isn't there. I mean, one of the big things for Vitality is that Soaz, all of that experience, all that creativity in the top lane, maybe Fnatic won't feed from the top lane as much anymore, but you cannot deny the fact that it's a big hit.
When he's down.
Yeah, Bwipo played, okay? He has some stage experience, but this is now semi-final. The weight of Fnatic, the weight of Reckless and expectations is there. I still think Fnatic are the favorites, but it's not as clear-cut anymore because of that substitution.
It sounds like a clear 5-game semifinal.
I hope
That's tomorrow, absolutely huge. And today, just as huge, G2 Esports up versus Splyce. On one side, we have the 4-time reigning EU LCS champions. And on the other side, we have a Splyce that has looked very convincing in the second half of the split. They crushed Roccat 3-0. And as an accolade, their coach, Peter Dunn, was just crowned coach of the split. So the signs are in their favor.
There are. And of course, as far as Splyce are concerned, it's been an upward trajectory from week 1. They've consistently improved. They've consistently got better. That's what makes me very excited about the matchup. But you can't remember the blip. They did lose that tiebreaker to G2, which is why Splyce had to play the quarterfinal.
Best of 1, a single game.
That's it. That's it.
I think the fact that Peter Dunn gets coach of the split here is super, super well deserved based on how this team has been improving. We also have to remember there's a bunch of guys with him helping the rest of the team here prepare. They have multiple coaches lined up, always sitting backstage, always yelling very loud when they're winning. So you can always hear when Splyce is doing well.
The Splyce machine to help out in the semifinal versus G2. And we have to take a look at on G2 and on Splyce. There's a lot of experience on both those rosters. And we're going to take a look at exactly how much experience and how much legacy in this beautiful, beautiful graphic. Because that for me is really, that really is, you always have to call it out. Just let it happen. Alrighty, so we have to call out the fact that there is so much experience on both squads.
There is, and of course important to note that both teams are playing in their 5th split. So that's why 5 splits, 4 finals. If G2 win today, they will make their 5th consecutive final, have a shot at 5 consecutive titles. And over on the other side for Splyce, obviously only 1 final. The rebuild around Kobe at the beginning of the year, I was dubious, but the team has shown constant improvement, constant development, and all of these players have a lot of experience behind them.
Yeah, and I think that's the important one when Splyce drafted his lineup here was not to go for a bunch of rookies and try and gamble on maybe making players. So it's like, get a bunch of names who have already performed in best of 5s who we know can be some of the best in Europe and try and guarantee getting at least a top 4 finish. Now, obviously, they're facing this G2 lineup, which is so new still. I think Splyce goes into this game here with a lot of confidence.
Well, on both sides, we also have a lot of players that want to win and have never been able to lift that trophy in Europe, but have come relatively close. We look at Odo, we look at Jankos, we look at Kobe, we look at Xerxes, but there's one guy, actually the only guy between these 10 and probably the coaching staff that has already led or won the championship, and that is Perkz, Mr. G2 himself.
Yeah, and I think Perkz will just continue being the face of G2 Esports. We saw the first 6 weeks how important his performance was and how he could just carry this team towards so many different wins. Went downhill a little bit when the team had to switch up and Wonder was no longer a carry. That is luckily for G2 kind of bounced back towards multiple members now stepping up.
So when it comes to this semi-final and the path that G2 still has to go before they can lift the trophy, is this the guy you're looking at? Is this the guy that is solo going to carry G2 to the trophy?
I mean, when you're the captain, when you're the leader, when you're the face of the organization, then yes, you will be one of the most important players when it comes to actually winning a semi-final. I still want to highlight Wonder again, and also Jankos. I think this new Holy Trinity on G2 on the top side will actually be super important. Trinity on G2 on the top side will actually be super important for this series. It's not just Perks. He needs those two guys to perform at the highest level as well.
And you have to look at the opposition as well, right? Odoamne on the other side going to be going up against Wonder. It's going to be a difficult matchup. Xerxes taking on Jankos in the jungle. One of the interesting storylines that I'm going to be tracking as well is this Jankos versus Odoamne. Former teammates, former players, H2K, 2 years side by side. In the video at the top of the day, Jankos used the exact words, "My legacy is to finish third." That is the opposite of the G2 legacy. The G2 legacy is to win every single split they are in. Now, who's going to buckle under pressure? Who's going to falter today? Jankos or Odo? For either of them, it'll be the first time in the finals.
It will be. They've reached a lot already. And as Perk said, I don't want to look too far ahead yet. I do want to look far ahead, but it's going to come down to if we can win today and if we can win the championship. And especially between these two guys, I like to call them brothers who played on H2K for so long, there will be a bit of extra grit there.
Oh, 100%. And we also have to see if they actually can perform in these big games, because that's been some of the questions in the past.
That's been following them. The choke
now,
rumor here and there.
Both players perform at the highest level.
And of course, don't forget the two Danish former teammates as well. Between Wonder and Corby, only one of them will get the shot to play in the finals in Denmark, greatest country in the world. And we need to see who's going to step up and make that happen.
Both teams jam-packed with players to watch, but we do want to know what you think. Who do you think is going to step up and carry their team to victory today? Tweet us at LOL Esports and tell us who will be the main carry for the teams, will carry them to victory and why. So I'm going to extend that same question to you guys about the teams. I know your predictions. I saw LOL Esports tweet them, so I'd like to know. You say G2 is going to win. Why? You say Splyce is going to win. Why?
I think G2 is going to win. I think Wonder is going to be MVP of the series, because I think that top side for G2 with Wonder, Jankos, and Perks will be better than what Splyce can bring. That gives an early advantage over to G2 Esports that they can take and use to then actually get ahead. And we have seen them in the past actually be able to play well also in team fights. And I think Yanan is doing better than people give him credit for. So well-rounded, win early game, and we'll do fine in team fights.
I just hate the fact that I have to go and predict against the superior analyst right now.
I'm tied with amazing at the moment.
I'm going to try, and I think Splyce are going to do it. I believe in the coaching staff. I believe in the preparation that Splyce have shown over the back end of the split. I'm going to ignore the tiebreaker game because nobody knew it was going to happen until the moment that it did.
Okay, good point.
And I think with a full week to prep, I think with a quarterfinal series under their belt, Splyce are going to be warmed up, are going to be ready, and that's how they're going to take down G2.
You're calling it for Splyce. We already saw two Titans fall over in the NALCS, TSM, and C9. I feel like you kind of love the drama as well.
I am indeed. I love the drama. It gives me something more to yell about, and that's why I'm setting it.
Well, you also got a dramatic talk with Jankos. I don't know how dramatic it's going to be. We'll see. You talked to him right before the game, so let's take a look at what he had to say.
I'm joined by Jankos, jungler for G2 Esports, ahead of his first semi-final here under the new G2 logo. Jankos, if you win today, it'll be your first EULCS final. What does that mean to you?
I mean, it means quite a lot. I never went to finals, even though I'm playing from 2014, so it's been like 4 years almost. And this is probably the best shot I have since I'm playing Odoamne, and he never went to finals either, so...
Well, if you have to take Odoamne out, teammates for 2 years, you heard a little earlier in today, you said your legacy is to finish third. Are you going to make Odoamne finish third?
I mean, his legacy is kind of same as mine, but he started playing 1 year after me. So, yeah, I mean, I'm really sad for him that he will still be third, you know, he'll still play for third, fourth place. And I'll be in the finals, but, you know, who knows. And then Broly and Febby are facing each other, I think, on Sunday, and they are both playing as well for the finals, so it's actually a pretty cool weekend.
What you're trying to say is you will make finals before any of the rest of them, is that right?
Exactly.
Well, there we go. Heard it from Jankos himself.
I don't think they're ready for Medivedi.
I don't think they're ready for Medivedi, but I think they're ready for this semi.
Let's go! Splyce versus G2. I'm Aaron Medic Chamberlain, and this is Andrew Vedius Day. And this is the first semi-final of the EULCS Spring Split. On the blue side today, it's number 3 seed Splyce.
Ooh, Splyce. Excited to see what they can bring out today. The staple bot lane, the roaring Romanian duo, Niski in the middle lane, who had a fantastic performance in his quarterfinal. These guys are looking to bring up the challenge.
Well, on the other side, they have to face off against G2 Esports, the defending champions, Perks at the helm, a player that has every time he's gone to playoffs, he's made it to the finals and he's taken the crown.
Yes, he certainly has. The current king of Europe, he is joined by 4 new teammates. We'll see if they can continue the G2 legacy, and they might very well be feeling the pressure, but given the laughs that I see on stage, it looks like they're primed and ready for action.
It's easy to be jocular, it's easy to joke around when you're coming into game 1 of a best-of-5 series. It'll be a lot harder for them if they start to lose against Splyce, who did look very strong against Roccat last week.
Yes, they certainly did. Convincing amazing 3-0 performance. Yet to see G2 play, and it's always a challenge going into these semifinals because you never really know if it's going to be the same semifinal team that you saw at the end of the regular season, given they've had 2 weeks to prepare for Splyce now.
I have to see how much they prepared for. Picks and Bans will jump on into the action in game 1. Splyce on the blue side.